Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am back with a hopefully very interesting video for you guys. As you may know, I am primarily a traditional artist, but today I'm actually taking this sketch and I'm going to do a digital painting with it. And to help me, I've teamed up with none other than Wacom to make this transition as easy for me as possible. They've kindly sent over their latest display tablet called the Wacom One, and this is what I'll be using to paint this sketch for you guys today. It's been several years since I last did a digital illustration. I want to say maybe 4 years now, and I was never a super confident digital painter to begin with, so I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm hoping the last 4 years of just committing to traditional art has somehow paid off and imparted some of that wisdom and knowledge into my digital painting process. So without further ado, let's get into it. Oh, I'm nervous. Gotta roll up the sleeves. I think I'm gonna start by trying to establish the colors that I think I'm gonna be using. And so I'm gonna take the sketch and then I'm gonna duplicate it. And I'm going to turn this into a multiply layer so that any color that I put down underneath is going to show up under the sketch. And I'm gonna, start kind of toning my canvas and see what kind of colors I might want to use. And I'm going to paint over this sketch directly. I'm not going to try to clean up this sketch with another drawing because I find when I do that, I often lose the essence of the sketch that I liked. I'm putting down colors that are kind of earthy because I kind of see this as an earthy picture. Yeah, I have no idea what to expect, you guys. But I hope it's gonna be okay. I hope it's gonna be good. So before, when I used to paint digitally, I think I would have tried to hide a lot of the sketch underneath, because back in the day, I would look at this and I would think it's too messy, like all these lines and all the texture. But I think now that I have some experience in traditional painting, I don't think it bothers me as much as it probably would have back in the day. I'm really treating this like doing a color comp as I would with traditional painting. Before I start any traditional painting, I like to do these comps so I have a clear sense of what my colors are going to look like. But the great thing about digital painting is that instead of having to now redo this again, I can just paint directly over top of this. And that's really great because traditionally, usually when I have to redraw anything, it always just ends up looking just a little bit different. And so it might not quite have the original feel of the comp. And I find I always lament about the comps being better than the final paintings. So yeah, digital painting has a lot of advantages in that sense. I think I want these to be kind of turquoisey. So I'm just loosely blocking in where I think those colors should go. Really not committing to anything. I am just trying to see what looks best. I think I'm liking those colors so far. I'm gonna bring some of these oranges back into the background here to tie the hair in a little bit to the background, and maybe even into the trees a little bit. Yeah, if you want to tie kind of unique colors into a piece, you want to bring it into all aspects of the painting in like subtle ways so it doesn't feel as unique. Alright, well, I think I am so far pretty happy with the color information that is currently there, and I think I feel ready to start painting over top of the lines. So I'm just gonna go ahead and merge these layers. Yeah, I don't know what you guys' digital painting process is like, but I remember I used to just paint over top of the sketch often like this and had a lot of fun doing that. So yeah, I kind of see these as like little bonsai like trees, bringing in a darker value underneath here to show the turning form. So this drawing is 3 years old, and there are things I would like to change about it. Like I think I want to move up her eyes a little bit. They're a little bit too low on the face. Yeah, it's really easy to do that with digital painting. I'm just gonna take a lasso tool here. I'm gonna copy and paste this, and then I can just move her face up a little bit. And now I have to just fill in that gap that I created. Yeah, I like that a lot better now. It was feeling a little bit too scrunched up down there. I think I'm gonna again move the eyes a little bit more. Yeah, that's feeling good. Yeah, I really like her little sweet facial expression. The face is definitely my most favorite part. It's just so satisfying trying to render the expression so that it's how you want it. Just seeing those kind of cheeks coming together. Yeah, I love working on the cheeks. She just looks so sweet. I really miss doing my own personal work. You guys may know I've been working on my upcoming Skillshare class for the past like almost 2 months now. I honestly just do not know where all that time is going, but I'm working on it. This whole time while I've been preparing for that class, I was working off of reference this whole time. And that's really fun, and I enjoy that process very much. But I guess it's been a while since I've drawn just from imagination. So yeah, this is a little treat for me that I get to work on something else. So right now, I'm just creating a little bit more definition to the hair by bringing in slightly darker values to indicate the changing direction of the hair, so you can feel that waviness to it. But I don't want to create too much contrast within the hair shape. I want it to read like one single shape, so that's why I'm not going in with a very dark, trying to define every curl like this, because I think it would create too many little areas of contrast. I kind of want to keep my dark areas, the very dark areas, near towards the face. At the risk of jinxing myself, I am really liking how it's turning out so far, and it is really pleasantly surprising to me that I'm enjoying the results after not having painted digitally for so long. And I was just so afraid of doing it all this time. I really like adding a lot of color like this. I get a lot of questions regarding my color decision making, and actually the class that I'm currently working on, the Skillshare class, it's all about how I go about making those color decisions. I just love finding hard edges and then getting rid of them. But not just getting rid of them and just blending them out, but I find ways to increase the interest in terms of the color. See how it was before, where it was this kind of stark orange color and then like a stark brown color. Well, instead of just using a smudge tool and then blending the edge there, I brought in a more saturated version of the orange and then created this three hue transition, which just adds another level of interest in terms of the colors. And that's something that I definitely touch on in the upcoming Skillshare class. I'm always looking for opportunities like that to bring more colors into the piece. So I'm really liking how this is coming so far, but I got to address the elephant in the room, and I gotta start working on these trees and do something about the butterflies here. So far, really like how this hair is coming out, and yeah, I think something I'm going to do is maybe add a little bit of like moss or something. Actually, let's do that now. So at this point, I think I'm just going to refine the design of the tree here and concentrate on giving her face a higher level of finish, especially the eyes, because I've been kind of neglecting that for a while. So I'll check back in with you guys in a bit. Hello, hi, this is Editing Chris here. I am putting this voiceover in after the fact while I'm editing the video, but I just wanted to say a few things. I really had a lot of fun with this painting, and it was kind of liberating to take such a rough sketch that I had done in my sketchbook and just paint over it directly, not feel the need to do iteration sketches and refine the drawing a couple of times, and then do several color comps to try to find the right color scheme for the piece. I know you guys are still watching the video and you've still yet to see the outcome of the piece, but I think the biggest takeaway that I took from this experience is just having more faith in myself to be able to just take something and run with it and be able to come up with a solution that makes me happy in the end. I think over the last few years, while I was working only with traditional media, I think I definitely tried to hedge my bets a little bit too much and try to predict every little thing. And while that is very good practice, I think I should maybe just give myself more credit and just let things flow and see what happens, because this painting really surprised me. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I ended up liking. So now is the time where I should mention a few things about the Wacom One product, which is the tablet that I'm using to create this piece. So the Wacom One is being marketed as a more entry-level display tablet, but being that it is being marketed as this budget display tablet, I didn't really feel like I was missing anything. The build quality feels actually really nice. The only thing I could maybe say was that it is missing the buttons on it, but it wasn't a huge problem for me as I was just using my laptop on the side and I was pressing the hotkeys with my left hand as I would anyway while using just a regular pen tablet. So the setup with the Wacom One wasn't a huge adjustment for me at all. It really took me just one sitting with it to get kind of used to it. If you are the type to really get down to the nitty-gritty of the technical specs, then there are plenty of other videos now on YouTube that cover all that in depth. While I'm much more of a kind of hands-on, just try it out, see how it feels, see how I'm able to produce the artwork with it type of person. Even when it comes to just regular art materials, I don't do like a ton of research going into it. I'd rather just get my hands on them and then just try it out and see what I can do with it. So this is really just my first impression of the Wacom One because it was my first time using it, but so far it works great. I didn't feel impeded by the fact that it was a more budget-friendly entry-level tablet. I was just doing my thing, and I suspect that with more experience I'm going to be even more comfortable with the product. So for those of you that are interested in checking it out and would like a little bit more than just a hands-on visual demonstration of the product, then I highly suggest that you look around on YouTube or just go on Wacom's website. I'll leave the link down below so you can check it out for yourselves. Now back to the video. I want them to look quite atmospheric, like to kind of fake a sense of scale. Even though they're small, I want them to kind of feel like they're big enough to attract this ecosystem around them of butterflies, and it's got atmosphere. I can spend a lot of time on this kind of stuff because it's about figuring out the rhythms and the composition, and that stuff takes a long time. Even though it may seem trivial, I think it's important to take the time and get it all placed in a way that makes you happy. So this is how our butterflies are looking now. I think I'm pretty happy with how they look so far, but I think I'm going to now move on to putting on the finishing touches on this piece. I really like how I did this kind of glinting effect here. I don't know what to call it, but it looks like a little bit of light that's glinting, and I kind of want to repeat that kind of all over the piece. Very selectively. So yeah, I'm just going to go around the piece and see how much I can do to really play with the colors. Like for example, I really like this little bit of green here in this more predominantly pinky purple area. I think that green really makes that, it gives it a little bit more interest there. Yeah, I like to look for areas like that to just vary up the colors a little bit. Honestly, sometimes I'm just like, well, this area looks too brown, too red, so I'll just bring in an opposite color. And oftentimes it looks alright. Oftentimes, just the rule of using opposite colors, complementary colors, just looks pretty good. And another little kind of rule I like to follow is just trying to avoid symmetry. When I'm applying these effects, I'm always looking on the other side and seeing if it's like perfectly lined up. Then I would want to offset it a little bit. I think the effect is it kind of keeps your eyes zigzagging across through the page. Want to try something, maybe give her a little bit of interesting makeup. These like little orangey areas that are sticking out kind of are inspiring me to bring in a little bit of makeup. So let's see how that looks. That's probably weird. I feel like I've seen this somewhere on Pinterest or something. I'm gonna let that marinate for a little bit. Guaranteed someone's gonna be like, I liked it before you did that, and now you've ruined it. Which, I guess that's fair. I'm kind of playing around with the idea of maybe adding like little berries in the trees, but not in the shape of berries, but in the shape of little hearts. Let's see. I'm just, testing it out, not committing to anything. But just for an element of like fun and unexpectedness, just dainty little hearts. What do you guys think? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it just for a little graphic fun, something to contrast against all the painterliness. Maybe she's like nurturing this kind of loving emotion. She's just giving off all the feels. I think this is something that's definitely changed over time for me. I know I would have tried to make everything look very realistic. I wouldn't have attempted anything like this in the past, but more and more I am looking into bringing more graphic elements into my work that don't necessarily have to align with any kind of realism. It's just like an interesting play of different textures. Like something is more realistic and rendered, which is what I'm naturally more drawn to, but more and more I just want to move away from doing what I would expect to see and throwing in elements that don't have to necessarily make sense for the sake of exploring design and concepts. And so this is how it turned out. I am pretty pleased with it. I think for the first digital painting in 4 years, I am pleasantly surprised at how it turned out. I feel like it showcases my current kind of aesthetic and style very well. Yeah, it was just a pleasant experience overall using the Wacom One, and I'm very appreciative that Wacom reached out to work together to bring this video for you guys. I think aesthetically I didn't hold back. I just kind of let it all out, and I like what I'm seeing, and that's very exciting, and I just can't wait to keep doing more of it. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you would like to see me do more digital paintings like this, and I will catch you guys in the next one, hopefully soon. Bye!